Welcome back to the channel.
Hi.
We're doing another book haul. And before, you say things like, Diana, aren't you doing a page by page project where you read your physical TBR? Diana, don't you have 130 books left on that challenge to read? Diana, do you really need more books? Usually, these book hauls are more spread out over the year, but two of them were for my birthday. And this one is from like a secondhand charity type shop. So also I wasn't going to buy anything, but then as we were walking to the register, I saw things. So
Yeah, they jumped into the basket.
yeah,
Except we didn't.
into my arms.
Yes,
They called to me. They were like,
yes.
Diana, please save us. We're stuck in this store. And I went, oh, I'll help you. So you will not see a book haul for a while. Maybe his,
Yeah.
but not mine.
Could you imagine a trip to a bookstore where I left with more books than you did?
You did. I only got two.
Yeah, I got four.
And technically, one of them is based on something I've already read.
Yeah.
So, and this is like a collector's item, even though, it's kind of whatever. Yeah.
Mine's kind of a. This one's kind of a collector's item, at least.
Yes, yes, yes. But yeah. Well, oh, did you know that the second volume
Mm-hmm. Of
finishes the image with Edward?
course it does.
Okay, anyway, would you like to begin this time?
Sure. So, I got three more books for my sci-fi classic series, Timeless or Time to Go, and then I got an extra book, which, again, technically just jumped out at me. So I'll start with this extra one. This is Airframe by Michael Crichton, who is the same guy who wrote Jurassic Park.
He wrote a lot of stuff.
He's written so many books.
I think after this Time to Go series, you need to do like a Michael Crichton read-a-thon kind of thing.
Yeah, he writes a lot of stuff that is me coded, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Jurassic Park. He wrote the Andromeda Strain, which is also in my my sci-fi book series, but I don't have it yet. And then now I have this. So this is Airframe. I really like airplanes. They're my special interest.
We're going to an air show in a month.
Biggest air show in Europe, I believe.
Yes.
Riyadh, 2025. Woo! But yeah, this is a book about air disasters.
That's not fun.
Well, that's why you're not reading it.
Okay.
But yeah, yeah. I don't want to say how I found out that this book existed.
How?
I was googling air disasters and then found. I ended up reading about an air disaster, and then in the notes on Wikipedia it said, "Oh, this disaster was the main inspiration for this book." And then I was like, "Oh, that's the same guy who wrote Jurassic Park that I just read. Maybe eventually I'll get this book." That's the main thing that made me look up his whole bibliography and made me think, "Oh, I might like to read all of his books."
Okay.
I said I had a special interest.
Yes. Well, the first book that I got was Twilight Graphic Novel Volume 1. I was waiting for you to roll your eyes or something.
I already did.
You did many times in the store.
Yeah. But at the same time, the second if you'd have told me that book was in that store.
That's Edward.
Oh. Yeah, if we'd gone into that store and someone said that book is in there somewhere, I would have put money on Diana finding it.
I did. Okay, so the store, let's describe it. It was how the idea of all the books. I'm gonna put some images up that are on the Google reviews just because we didn't think ahead to take videos or anything.
Yeah, we didn't think to film it because we were on a mission, but we definitely should have.
Yeah.
Imagine a cave
Of
and
books.
it's just full of books, floor to ceiling, and
It just goes on. Like,
yeah, it's a high street shop. If you're from the UK, you'll know kind of what that means, but it's a fairly small um, front
mm-hmm.
of the store,
But it's
and it
so
just
long.
goes straight back into the block of buildings, like really, really far back. And in the back of it, like the lights were all turned off and stuff, so it looked even more like a cave.
Was it?
Yeah, yeah, towards the back. And yeah, we were the only people in there apart from
The stuff.
yeah, the staff that was working there.
Yeah, which I think was better because like the bookshelf was like two stacks deep. So we had to pull out a lot of books in order to like really see. I feel like if we didn't go there with a list of books in mind, it's very overwhelming.
Yeah, there is also no. It is kind of divided by
Genre.
genres, but there are no labels saying where the genres stop and start.
Yeah, so the very first thing I did was ask the staff member where their sci-fi was, and she showed us because
Yeah,
we would have not been able to follow her directions, to be fair.
but yeah, all of these books are secondhand. Some of them are pretty old. Um, these three, especially that I got, which we'll get to. But
Yes. But
yeah.
Twilight. So
Oh my god.
they yeah, this is what we were discussing. So they had next to the sci-fi was starting to go a little bit into fantasy and then a bit of like dystopian, like 2000s era
Then young
stuff.
adult.
Yeah. So I found this and I was so excited. I actually like haven't seen this in like just like bookstores. Maybe I don't know where to look. But it seems like a really cool item to just have in my like Twilight collection. And I'm gonna read it probably very soon, to be honest.
Hmm.
But I'm very excited and yeah.
Hmm.
Okay. Your next book?
Okay.
Also, like every time the pages waft in any of these, it smells like an old library.
In a good way though.
Yeah, no, in a very good way. But you would just like flip through a couple pages of your book, and I just got like a.
Okay, well, I'm gonna go with this one next.
That's such a pretty edition.
Yeah, so this is 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea by Jules Verne, but it is specifically from a series called Books That Have Changed Man's Thinking. It was a series of hardcovers that all look like this. I don't know any other books that are in the series, but it might be cool to eventually build up a series where they all look like this. This edition was published in 1969, so this is a pretty old book. But it's in good condition.
It's in great condition.
Yeah, no, there's no issues with it at all. And the really great thing about this, all of these books coming from a secondhand store, is that this hardcover cost £6.
Yeah.
And all of these regular ones were £3 each.
Yeah, same thing. This was £6, and my paperback was actually only £2.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, because I think it's considered young adult, so they mark it down a little more. But yeah, that's
yeah. So yeah, 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea again in my my sci-fi series written by Jules Verne. It's about I don't really know, but it's about going underwater in a submarine to do deep sea exploration, I imagine. Yeah, there were several different editions of this book. There was just
there's
regular
5, I think.
regular soft covers and stuff. But
There was
this one,
another hard cover leatherback, but it had like a water stain from like a coffee mug or something.
yeah,
Actually, we're in the UK. It's probably a tea mug, but
yeah. So there were literally just two of this exact book, but
Mhm.
this one was slightly nicer on the front. Um, and yeah, this one definitely has the most vibe around it, so that's the one I went for. And I like the idea of secondhand books, you know? To me, books are like tools and they exist to be handed down and reused and stuff. So there's literally nothing wrong with collecting secondhand books as opposed to new ones. Like they have more story to them in my mind.
no, and like also you're also it's more environmentally friendly.
Yeah.
And like yeah, like besides books, that's why I love going to there's a free little library by my apartment which is very much taken care of really well by the community, and like pretty much everyone who like walks past it either drops off a book or looks through it. And I've gotten so many books from there, and I just love like putting books in there and like seeing, oh, how long does it take to leave, or like just you never know what you're gonna just like randomly find then when it's a secondhand versus like when it's the same like new books being promoted all the time on like social media and stuff. So
Hmm.
I think it's really fun. The second and last book that I got, because I only got two, is Uglies. And I will say that so the tagline for this is before the Hunger Games there was Uglies, which okay. So some comments. I know about the series. I did not read this as a kid or like preteenish, young adult, whatever. I did not read this in the dystopian era that we had with, Hunger Games, Divergent, all that stuff because I hated the covers and never read the description because I hate the covers and I read books based on covers. Now, I did see the Netflix movie that they made and I really liked it. It just gave me such the same vibe as Divergent and Hunger Games and like that whole Maze Runner, that whole like era of dystopian. And I understand it's literally part of that era, so it makes sense that it gave me that vibe. But I still think this is the ugliest cover ever. I do not think there is a single edition of this book that has a good cover. I've looked. I've like really tried because I want to read the series so badly, but I just cannot get past the covers. So, considering this was only £2, I'll deal with an ugly cover. I even considered I was gonna just read these on my Kindle so I wouldn't have to buy it. But then I forgot about it because I don't have the physical and I don't really remember things if I don't physically see it in front of me. So I am really excited to read this, and I don't think it's gonna take me that long because the font is quite big. Um, but I am excited, and I really want to read this. This one, it's about this society where once you turn 16, you get this like plastic surgery to become pretty, and then you get put into this completely different section of society compared to the uglies. Um, and yeah, it's about suddenly one of her friends does not want to become pretty, and they run away and find this whole group of uglies. So, very excited about this. I'm very excited about both of these books. I have too many books that I'm like interested in right now. I'm gonna be doing a 24-hour readathon soon. Once I hit 100 subs, which I'm so close to.
Yeah, it won't be long. We got 5 subs overnight
What if I
last night.
What if I hit it before this video even comes out?
Oh, whoopsie.
Well, this video is probably going to go out on Wednesday.
You gotta get an uploading schedule.
As of film, no.
You're almost professional.
No.
100 subs.
No. As of filming, we are at 91 subscribers.
91?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So once I hit 100 subscribers, I'm going to be doing a 24-hour readathon. And I'm thinking for that to do kind of like a spin wheel. And like just the books that I physically have here and stuff. So yeah, that will be something. Maybe I'll read those during this.
I'll be at work.
At least the graphic novel, because this is when I need a break in the middle of 24 hours of mind-numbing reading. So
have fun.
Thanks. Anyway,
You're
your books.
more tired than me.
Yes, but that's why I'm going to be doing it Wednesday into Thursday, so I can sleep on Friday.
Must be nice. So my last two remaining books, we have The Day of the Triffids and 2001: A Space Odyssey. Now these books are both pretty short.
I really like this cover.
Yeah. They're 256 and 272 pages each, so you should get through them pretty quickly.
This font's a little small.
Yeah, but oh well, Well, 2001: A Space Odyssey, anyone who is aware of sci-fi should know. One of the genre-defining movies. But there was also a book written concurrently with it, so written at the same time, both released in 1968. Um, Written by Arthur C. Clarke, who also helped write the screenplay with Stanley Kubrick, but only Clarke is credited as an author of the book. Like I said, it came out in 1968, and this is a first edition book, as far as I can work out. So this book is old. But yeah, it's still really cool, and I really want to read it because I know that 2001 was a big inspiration for Star Wars, which is also. Don't make that face.
What?
I thought you were.
Oh no.
He's about to talk about Star Wars.
I was
again.
about to say, yeah, and that's also such a good year, so you should want to read the book.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, 2001 was the year of your birth. 2001, year of our Lord.
Also, we saw at the charity shop that they had 2 sequels to this.
Yeah.
Did you know there were sequels?
I had no idea. I don't know if there are any sequel movies,
Mm-hmm.
but there are sequel books. One of them was called 2002, and the other one was called something else.
It was like 2060 something.
Oh, I thought it said 3001. I wasn't concentrating that hard. But yeah, that's 2001. Next, we have the Day of the Triffids,
which is apparently a plant.
Hmm?
Apparently a plant?
Yeah, the Triffids are a group of plants that attack people, as far as I can work out. Yeah, this book, written by John Wyndham, hopefully I'm saying that right. This edition was published in 1984, but the book was written in 1951, I believe. Yes. So yeah, this has been adapted into a TV show, I think.
The style of house is very much giving Privet Drive.
Yeah, this was written by a British author, so I'm assuming it's going to be set in the UK. But yeah, it has been adapted into a visual media. I just can't remember if it was TV or movie. So it'd be cool to read the source material because I haven't seen uh, anything that was made out of this book. But yeah, the idea of plants overtaking the planet seems pretty cool. It reminds me of the original Jumanji. Have you seen that?
Yes, I have.
Yeah,
It scared me.
The turn where all the plants come alive.
Yeah, I don't like that part.
Yeah, I don't like that part either. It is creepy. But yeah, that's the vibe that this book gives. So we'll see how that goes. But for anybody who has seen our most recent reel, I am actually not reading any of these books first in my Timeless or Time to Go series. We did a wheel spin for the 7 books that I already have, and it turns out I'm going to be reading Foundation by Isaac Asimov first. So we'll see how that goes. I've also grabbed a notebook so that I can make some notes about the things I like and don't like, so it can help me rank the books better.
You need a book journal.
Yeah, well, I have a notebook, and that will do. This channel is my book journal. Have you not realized? Yes, it's very pretty.
Yeah, because it's my birthday month. That's also a spoiler for some things that I've read this month so far. I think I'm actually, I haven't done these. I'm so unprofessional. But I think I might actually start doing monthly wrap-ups. Because I feel like even if I talk about them in other videos, it's still just a good way to concisely discuss everything that I've read. Because some things don't end up in a video, and then you never know that I read it, and what a shame.
So, those are all the books that we got today.
We got some reading to do.
Yeah.
So, if you are still watching, please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, all those YouTube things. And we'll get reading, and we'll catch you in the next video.